What's up, fans? JammaJohn back, and today we're going to go over episode 43, titled Goku's Ki is Out of Control, having a troubled time taking care of Pan, as well as a little bit of a preview to episode 44. In today's episode, we start off with Goku, Chi-Chi, and Goten having dinner, and even though we see around 15 empty bowls on the table, Goku is claiming that he's really not that hungry today. So Chi-Chi's worried about him, asking if he's feeling sick or whatever, because he only ate half of his meal. Which goes to a cutscene where Goku goes to gather some groceries, probably his meal that he was having there, when suddenly he realizes that he forgot something on the list. I believe it was looked like it was like horse meat or something, I don't know. So he decides that he should go back, but for some reason, when he tries to turn around while flying in the air, he realizes that he can't and that he's lost control of his body, forcing him to fall from the sky and somehow stop himself like an inch away from the ground. So Goku, after that, decides that he's going to see King Kai and figure out what's going on with him. So obviously, the only way to get there without dying, instant transmission. However, takes him about 3 or 4 times to actually get there, accidentally landing at a bunch of other places, including Bulma's house, where when he gets there, she's basically just getting out of the shower, what it looks like. And once she turns on the light and realizes that Goku's in there while she's half naked, obviously, she just screams off the top of her lungs. And once she did, Vegeta comes into the room, as well as a bunch of security drones, aiming right at Goku, like at his head. So he's pretty much sitting there, he's saying, "Don't worry, I'm not here to see your saggy breasts," which was hilarious to see. I thought that was probably the funniest thing that I've seen from Dragon Ball Super. Just him making fun of Bulma like that. Also, how many times has Goku actually seen Bulma naked now? Probably a lot, but okay, anyway. He keeps trying, and finally he ends up at King Kai's place after, teleporting, and he sees Krillin by accident, he sees Kami's tower and everything. So eventually King Kai is pretty much checking up on him and trying to figure out what's wrong, and eventually he comes to the conclusion that he believes that Goku used up way too much of his ki and that he was very reckless with his body. And we see a cutscene back of Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 10, which was so epic. In which King Kai tells him that if he keeps pushing his body like that and continues to be reckless without rest, that he might damage his body to where he might never fight again. So, obviously, Goku listens to that for now and leaves to go home and eventually comes in flying into his house, literally, causing a bunch of damage. He, just goes completely through the house, causing them, as in Goku, Chi-Chi, and Goten, to go over to Gohan's house until the repairs are done. So Goku, Piccolo, and Chi-Chi are catching up with Piccolo, who is actually giving Chi-Chi advice on how to take care of Pan, because he has, some special meal for her, which is, a baby formula of just a bunch of different, vegetables and everything. And he eventually ends up sticking around anyway. So he pretty much told them all that for nothing. Whatever. Cool to still see Piccolo. So we see Goku and Piccolo on the roof with Pan afterwards. Pan's in Goku's arms. And Goku and Piccolo are discussing how, what's going on with Goku. And basically, he says that he feels so weak right now that Piccolo can beat him. Oh man, Goku's pretty good with the jokes on this one. And eventually he sees that Pan is looking into the stars and everything because it's nighttime. And Goku says, "Don't worry, Pan, I'll take you up there. I would already if my body wasn't freaking out." So So after that, we see who else but the Pilaf gang the next morning, who are trying to come up with obviously a new plan to try and take over the earth. And he has like they use the rest of their money, that 1 million zenny that they got, on something they called the peel-off machine, which just honestly just looked like a giant robot. But as they were trying to figure out the plan, they see Pan crawling to them, and they acknowledge Pan. Obviously, they're talking to her and everything, even though she's only 1 year old. So as they're about to attack, they see Goku and Piccolo in a window pretty much yelling at each other, hey, it was your turn to take care of her, no, it was your turn, blah, blah, blah. So the Peel-Off gang hears this and pretty much says, retreat, let's get out of here before they see us. And somehow, even though this big-ass machine is just in the forest, somehow they escape without being detected. Whatever. Anyway, the Peel-Off gang, as they were fleeing, realized that Pan came with them, pretty much shooting themselves in the foot even worse. And as they're fleeing away, they realize Pam, I kid you not, I can't make this stuff up, shits her pants, where it causes them to be absolutely, completely disgusted, obviously, based off of the smell. So eventually they lose control of the peel-off machine, and it breaks down to where they start flying into space. And basically they're all worried, like, oh my god, what's going to happen and everything. And just as they think they're doomed, Pan actually powers up with a key aura around her and grabs hold of them while flying around in space right before the peel-off machine gets destroyed. Pretty cool scene, in my opinion. It's obviously nothing to be taken very seriously, because obviously this is just a filler episode, just trying to have a little bit of humor in it and everything. So eventually, after flying around, she brings them all back down to Earth. You don't really see them coming back down, but you just see the initial flight down, where we go to a cutscene where Gohan comes back home and just sees Pan sleeping on the couch. Nothing crazy. They're all talking about how Pan shouldn't have gotten out. Sorry, but she did. Whatever. She's back there. They're all fine. So then that's the end of the episode. Pretty funny in my opinion. It's not a lot of action, but I mean, Earth isn't always in danger, right? So then we see next week's episode, preview to next week's episode, where Kid Trunks and Goten somehow end up in the back of Monaka's delivery truck, and they're brought into another planet. Obviously, those two are just mischievous, so who knows how they got onto there. So we see them fighting these new creatures. Not a lot's explained, obviously, but we do see Goku, who clearly didn't listen, and like I told you for now, is ending up there somehow, fighting and shooting some ki blasts. I'm excited because we get to see some other worlds. We get a little bit of Monaka action, even though he's obviously a fake. But I'm more curious to see what Goku's gonna do, because he obviously can't keep draining his body like this because he has the new tournament coming up. So stuff that's, nothing really crazy going on right now, but it's pretty much revving up for something huge, and I'm pretty excited for everything that's going to be going on soon. But that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. JammaJohn out.